Kody Brown and Robyn Brown finally got what they've been waiting for, an all-cash offer on their Flagstaff home. On the surface, it looked like a dream come true. Freedom, fresh beginnings, and the down payment for the new luxury home they've been eyeing for months. Every second of their gleeful reaction was captured on camera for sister wives. But behind those glowing smiles, something deeper was brewing. That joy wasn't about hope or reinvention. It was about survival. What viewers witnessed wasn't triumph. It was relief. For Kody and Robyn, this sale wasn't just a step up. It was a financial lifeline. Because here's the truth. The Browns aren't ascending in status. They're falling. And the $2 million mansion they've now bought could very well become the anchor that drags them under. The turning point came when their realtor, Justin Bates, delivered the news. There was an offer, all cash, just shy of the asking price. Instantly, Kody and Robyn's faces lit up as if Christmas had arrived early. Robyn beamed, Kody's eyes widened in near disbelief. It wasn't nostalgia or a bittersweet reflection on leaving a family home. It was raw excitement, the kind that only comes when desperation meets opportunity. Viewers could almost feel the tension melt off their shoulders. Someone, finally, was willing to hand them real money. But as they celebrated, a different narrative was being sold on camera. Robyn spoke of sadness and depression. Kody revisited painful memories, his divorces, his illness, the emotional strain of losing Garrison. Together they framed the move as a healing step, yet their expressions told a different story. There was no grief, no hesitation, just jubilation. And that disconnect revealed everything. The Browns didn't simply want to move. They needed to. That cash offer wasn't a lucky bonus. It was their salvation. Their dream home across town came with the major catch. Their offer on that property depended on selling their current house first. Without that sale, they couldn't make the down payment. Think about that. Kody Brown, once the patriarch of a multi-million-dollar TV empire surrounded by multiple income-contributing wives, couldn't afford a new home without selling his old one first? Suddenly, that euphoric reaction makes perfect sense. It wasn't about success. It was about escape. Once upon a time, Kody's life looked bulletproof. Multiple wives meant multiple incomes. TLC's Sister Wives was a steady cash flow machine. Together, they even bought a sprawling piece of land called Coyote Pass, intending to build a family compound for generations to come. Fast forward to now, and that dream lies in ruins. The land sits undeveloped, draining money through property taxes with no return in sight. And Kody? He's scrambling, making offers on houses he can't buy without liquidating existing assets, staging homes before a buyer even appears, pretending all is fine while the walls close in financially. The illusion of control is gone. What remains is a man running out of runway. Each of Kody's marital breakdowns came with an emotional toll and a financial one. Christine's exit was the first and most public. She didn't just walk away, she took her fair share, including part of Coyote Pass. Janelle's split followed, and though it seemed civil, assets had to be divided. Then came Mary's formal separation, another financial disentanglement. Divorce always costs money, lawyers, settlements, and asset division. Multiply that by 3, and you begin to see how much Kody's empire has shrunk. Yet, through all this, Kody and Robyn have continued to live as though nothing's changed. The big house, the luxury cars, the image of affluence. But maintaining appearances comes at a price. At the same time as their real estate shuffle, Christine has filed legal action against Kody, another drain on finances. Legal representation is expensive, and cases like this can drag on for months. Still, Kody and Robyn wandered through million-dollar listings, measuring dining rooms and discussing chandeliers as if the financial strain doesn't exist. Viewers see a couple trying to buy time and confidence through the illusion of abundance. In one emotional scene, Robyn speaks about faith, trusting in a higher power to guide their journey. She expresses hope that everything will work itself out. Faith can be a source of comfort, but belief doesn't pay the mortgage. And while Robyn prays for divine intervention, Reality is catching up. Buying a $2 million home that's 40% larger than the last when you can barely make the down payment isn't faith. It's financial denial. This unraveling didn't happen overnight. It's been a slow burn for years. The Coyote Pass dream, once a symbol of unity, became a financial albatross. No development, no income, just expenses piling up year after year. Then came the divorces, each slicing away pieces of the family's fortune. Add legal costs, property taxes, and mounting lifestyle expenses, and the picture becomes clear. The Browns are in over their heads. So when that all-cash offer arrived, Kody and Robyn's smiles weren't just about excitement, they were about survival. They needed that deal to go through and fast. Because cash doesn't just mean payment, it means liquidity. It means no waiting for banks or approvals. It means breathing room. For a couple trapped between dwindling funds and ballooning dreams, it meant everything. To viewers, Kody and Robyn still play their roles well, the picture of calm, grateful homeowners. But behind the scenes, every decision seemed to come from urgency, not abundance. They can dress it up in optimism and faith, but the numbers don't lie. This isn't a story of two people moving forward. It's a story of two people barely holding on. And as they unpack boxes in their new $2 million mansion, one can't help but wonder, did they just buy their fresh start or their final downfall? Kody Brown and Robyn Brown have just gotten exactly what they wanted, an all-cash offer on their Flagstaff house, basically their ticket to the next home they've been fantasizing about. Every second of their reaction was filmed. But there's something everyone is forgetting. The raw, unbridled excitement on their faces wasn't about new beginnings or reinvention. It was about desperation, the type of desperation you can no longer hide. The truth is, Kody and Robyn are not climbing socially. They're plummeting. And that $2 million house they just bought might just be the burden that ends up sinking them for good. Let's step back for a second. Picture what happened. Their realtor, Justin Bates, comes in with news. There's an offer in, all cash. The price is just a little less than they were quoting, but the payment is in cash. How do Kody and Robyn react? Their faces light up like it is Christmas time. Robyn is always smiling. Kody's face is all brightness. Did someone say cash? Real cash. The seriousness of the situation indicates that Robyn would sprawl on top of money with her dolls. That's the energy being emitted. Pure, unadulterated joy. Noble appreciation from people undergoing a difficult but necessary transition. No rich feelings of leaving behind a home that has history. Just raw happiness that someone, literally anyone, will give them real money. This is where it gets interesting. Throughout this same episode, Robyn talks about depression. She mentions sadness. She uses bad experiences as their reason for leaving. Kody expounds on having 3 dissolutions of marriage in that house, on hearing the news about Garrison in that house, on even getting sick there, which clearly counts as emotional harm. Today, they're building the story of 2 harmed people needing a new space in order to heal. But their faces, their facial expressions tell something completely different. There is no sadness. There is no grieving. They're thrilled. That gap between what they're saying and what they're showing is where reality lives. The real deal is this. Kody and Robyn weren't just interested in moving. They had to move. And the emotional reasons they're giving viewers aren't the actual reasons. That cash offer wasn't a cherry on top. It was their salvation. You see, that ideal residence across town, the property they submitted an offer for, that particular offer was conditional upon selling their current dwelling, meaning the down payment was impossible without that sale. Allow that information to register. Kody Brown, the TLC compensated individual, the one who had 4 wives contributing to the family income, the one who had many properties all over Flagstaff, is now not able to raise enough money for a down payment without selling his current property first. Suddenly, that euphoric reaction becomes that much more reasonable. We must take a look at the numbers because here, the math is really staggering. Kody Brown's past scenario was enviable. 4 wives, many sources of revenue, a successful TV show repeatedly pumping money into family coffers, and enough financial security to buy a whole plot of lands called Coyote Pass. Fast forward to the current time, and he's frantic. He's staging items ahead of even getting a buyer. He's making offers on homes he can't afford without selling his current assets for cash. And he's juggling all this as if everything is fine. Stability does not exist. This is a financial disaster clothed in respectful presentation. Think of all that Kody has lost in just a few years. 3 wives left. Christine left first, and her departure was done in public. She took her whole share of everything, including her portion of Coyote Pass. Then Janelle left. Even though their breakup was more amicable on the surface, there were still financial transactions. There were still assets that needed to be split. Then Mary formally wrapped it up. Another part of the assets gone. All marital breakups cost money. Lawyer, fees, splitting assets, paying off debts, and all of this while Kody and Robyn just keep trying to maintain their lifestyle. The big house, the high-end cars, the look of wealth. But here's the important part. At this very time of house hunting, Christine is now suing Kody. Court cases have a high price tag. Court representation is not free. And ongoing as that court case goes on, it's draining resources. Still, Kody and Robyn are looking at $2 million homes like their money has no bounds. They're talking luxury. They're measuring dimensions. They're weighing whether to keep the giant dining table that comes with the house. In the meanwhile, their financial underpinning is crumbling beneath their feet. And they're either totally oblivious or they're great showmen on reality TV. What really discloses the circumstance is that cash offer. The way their faces shifted upon the mention of the word cash, because cash means immediate liquidity. Cash dispenses with loan confirmation waits or banking processing time. Cash enables them to close quickly and get that money right away before something else comes along and complicates matters. And they needed that quickness. They needed that assurance because without it, their desired real estate vanishes. Without it, they're stuck in the house with all those bad memories with no place else to go. Robyn's standing there talking about holding on to belief in a higher power, about God's provision, about just getting ready in their stuff and hoping it all works itself out. And of course, belief is wonderful. Spiritual dialogue is valid. But you know what belief doesn't do? It doesn't pay rent. And Robyn's spiritually driven economic model is about to be met with hard reality. Because the deity she's talking to also gave her an intellect. And those mental capabilities should be pointing out that buying a home 40% bigger than your last one when you can hardly make the down payment is not divine intervention. It's economic destruction. So let's trace the course of this money downfall because it didn't happen overnight. This has been brewing over years, and each individual decision Kody made brought him closer to this place. It starts with Coyote Pass, that large holding which was supposed to be the family's home for eternity, where they'd build their complex and live happily ever after in plural marriage harmony. But it never happened. Years went by, and that land just lay there, racking up tax payments and generating a flat zero in revenue. That's money pouring out of the family budget year after year for a dream that had run out by the time construction even started. Then came the divorces later, and this is when the hemorrhaging really got serious. Christine was the first to go, and she didn't just take off without a thing. She took her share, her piece of Coyote Pass, her half of whatever little they'd accumulated together. And Christine isn't living high off the hop today, is she? She's thriving in her quaint little house with David, living her best life while Kody is struggling to make ends meet. That says it all that needs to know about who was really getting finances in check in that household. Janelle left after Christine. And although she's always been more taciturn with finances, don't for a moment imagine that distance didn't cost Kody. Janelle is the practical one, the one who actually understands financial planning and saving and money management. Losing her wasn't just losing a wife. It was losing the only person in that home who had any sort of commercial savvy at all. And now Janelle's happy set with her recreational vehicle lifestyle and her independence. And Kody's faking domesticity with Robyn in a house that they really can't afford. Mary's departure was the final decisive blow. And indeed, Mary and Kody's relationship had been over for years, but she was still technically a part of the financial setup, still contributing, still around. Now she's gone to running her hotel business and living her own life. And Kody's left with one wife and one income stream from the show that's keeping this whole charade going. But there is more to it, because during all this event, Christine's legal action is already ongoing. She's filing court cases against Kody, and that comes with big costs. Attorney fees are piling up, legal expenses are mounting, and all the while, as that scenario continues, it's money Kody doesn't have, taking from his accounts. However, here he stands, committing to a $2 million loan as if he has unlimited means, as if he's not one canceled television show from complete financial ruin. Chronological order is damning. Coyote Pass purchased but never built, 3 marriages dissolved, completed, or pending, an ongoing legal proceeding draining resources. And in the middle of all this chaos, Kody and Robyn conclude the current time is perfect for upgrading to a bigger, more expensive house. The numbers aren't adding up. The economics aren't being economized. And that desperate excitement when they got that cash proposal was the manifestation of two people who know they're drowning, but can't admit it out loud. Now, let's talk about Robyn's approach to economic planning, because it's really mind-boggling. Whereas the vast majority of people in a precarious financial situation would take precautions, prudence, perhaps even seeking advice from a financial advisor, Robyn's continuing to pack boxes and spiritual connection. Truly, she keeps faith that divine force will provide them with a home large enough that Ariella will no longer have to live in substandard housing, a home large enough for games of hide and seek. And of course, there's nothing wrong with belief. But when your financial strategy involves pack, pray later, close the deal never, you're not being faithful, you're being irresponsible. The cameras caught them setting up their home before they even had a confirmed buyer. And before Justin Bates came in through that door with the cash offer, Robyn and Kody were already packing up their belongings in boxes, believing that it would just all work out for good. And when people online started questioning the strategy, the retort was basically to just have faith in divine power. But here's the truth. Divine help assists those who assist themselves. And assisting yourself means having a backup plan. It means comprehending that preparing your complete residence before you've confirmed both a purchaser for your existing property and capital for your new one isn't belief. It's foolishness. Consider the boldness of this methodology. They located their ideal residence across town. They submitted a proposal requiring them to sell their existing property. They lacked the initial payment without that transaction completing. And instead of waiting, instead of being strategic, instead of doing literally anything that would be responsible economic planning, they just started packing. Robyn sitted there surrounded by boxes talking about how she just knows it'll work out, how divine providence is going to come through for them. And really, it did. They got their cash offer. But what if they hadn't? What if that offer never came? What if the unique offers they received came with renovation or conditions or longer finalization times? Then there's the speed of all things. Justin Bates shows up, conveys the news of the cash offer, and within an instant, they're moving. 5 minutes of broadcast time between possibility and reality. And that is not how real estate deals work for regular people. Regular people wait, they bargain, they consider their options. But Kody and Robyn couldn't wait. They needed that money. They needed it quickly, and they needed it before anything else could go wrong. That is not the behavior of people who are fiscally stable. That is the behavior of people who are one missed payment from disaster. And let's be honest about what that money offer is. It wasn't just money for down payment. It was proof. It was proof that someone somewhere thought their home was worth real money. No complications of financing, no valuation issues, no buyer remorse.
just straightforward money, and they could hardly contain themselves. Robyn couldn't stop grinning. Kody was practically glowing because that money offer wasn't answering to their spiritual prayers for a new beginning. It was answering their spiritual prayers that they would not be totally economically ruined by the end of the year. So they got their home. $2 million worth of fresh starts. A home that's 40% bigger than the one they just left. Kody keeps repeating the word opulent, like he just learned it and can't wait to use it. Opulent cooking space, opulent living areas, opulent everything. And sure enough, the house is beautiful. It's spacious. It's stunning. But here's what no one is talking about. They can hardly fill it. That huge dining table Robyn hates and Kody loves, it's a constant reminder that they don't have enough people to fill it up. Their family dwindled, but their home grew. And that is not progress. That is overcompensation. Ariella is running around telling me about how their old place was really tiny, hardly any room for activities, and now they can finally play hide and seek. But let's talk about that old place for a little bit. It was 5,000 feet. 5,000. That's not small by any standard. That's huge. That's more room than most families could ever dream of having. But clearly to Robyn and her clique, 5,000 footage had limiting, stifling, and insufficient housing. Thus today, they've upgraded to something even bigger.
And the question becomes, why? Why do 6 people need a home that's 40% bigger than 5,000 square footage? The answer is appearance. It's always been about appearance with these 2 people. Kody needs to look successful. He needs to show his previous wives, his far-off children, the world looking on, that he's doing well enough. Better than well enough, really. He's thriving. He's in a bigger house. He's calling it lavish. He's risen socially while Christine and Janelle and Mary are busy at their own pursuits. Ignore that Christine's perfectly happy in her comfortable house. Ignore that Janelle's happy with her simple lifestyle. Ignore that Mary's running a successful business venture. Kody makes everyone sit back and notice that he succeeded. And if succeeding is about buying a house he can't afford and calling it luxurious 50 times an episode, then that's his plan. Robyn's entering the same competition, only with different rules. She's talking about building memories in this house, about having grandchildren over, about this being their home for life where they'll grow old together. She's building this picture of multi-generational legacy, of family gatherings around that big dining table, of holidays and celebration activities, and all of the trappings of a close-knit home. But it's imagination, pure imagination, because the heirs are not coming. The far-off children are not coming. And that big empty table is going to stay empty, with the exception of the 6 people who actually do live there. The house is not about functionality or coziness. It's all about perception. It's all about having the means to post pictures on online sites that convey triumph. It's about giving interviews where they can mention their new home in passing and see how people react. It's about showing that leaving Kody was the wrong move, that staying with him is payback, that Robyn made the right choice by never wavering. But here's the harsh reality. All the luxury in existence cannot conceal the reality that they're existing beyond their capabilities in a residence that's excessively large for their diminishing household. This is where circumstances become genuinely frightening for Kody and Robyn. They're not simply economically extended. They're absolutely reliant on a singular revenue source that could vanish at any time. Sisterwise, the program that's been recording their existence for 20 seasons, the show that's making up for that $2 million home, the show that's keeping this entire operation going. It's working. And the ratings, they're dropping. Not apocalyptically, but enough that anyone with even an ounce of intelligence should be worried. Yet Kody's continuing to sign loan papers as if TLC is just going to keep paying him back forever. We should be honest about something. Reality shows don't last forever, and especially reality shows where the basic premise has completely collapsed. Sister Wives was supposed to be about plural marriage, about a guy navigating relationships with 4 women, about the trouble and joys of polygamy. But now it's just Kody and Robyn in their big house pretending everything's fine while the rest of the family lives apart and thrives without them. That is not the program people signed up for, and eventually viewers are going to stop watching. But Kody can't see it. Or maybe he can see it and he's just in denial. Because in this same episode, he confirms something really heartbreaking. He says his children coming represents a fantasy, not an objective, not an aspiration, a fantasy. He realizes they're not showing up. He gets that the home they're reserving for truly is never going to be used. He gets that Gwen's not going to show up for Friday dinner. He gets that his relationship with his kids has been broken for good. But he's talking about new beginnings and new starts, like buying another house is going to somehow heal years of neglect and broken promises. And here's the harsh reality no one is talking about. What happens when Sister Wives gets terminated? Because it will inevitably, all shows do. And when that happens, when that TLC money stops flowing, exactly how are Kody and Robyn planning on paying for that loan? Kody's not working in a traditional job. Robyn's stuck at home with her kids. Their sole income is the show that's filming their breakdown, the program that's observing their household collapse in actual time. The program that cannot feasibly continue, much extended on the remnants of what previously existed. Kody is trapped, and he knows it. He can't leave the program because he needs payment.